Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Flapjack from CZT Angie Gittles. You know, they say not to go to the store when you're hungry. Maybe I shouldn't search for tangles when I'm hungry. I'm like, oh, flapjacks, that sounds good. All right. This is a neat fragment. And as every time I say it, I think, you say that all the time. You guys are probably saying, she says that all the time. Well, yeah. I'm gonna thesaurus neat. I'll see if I can. Maybe that should be a New Year's goal. I'll see how many different ways I can say neat, cool, whatever. Oh no, I think I'm gonna go back into into history. We'll revisit some old names for for that. Okay, that's gonna be my assignment. All right. Anyway, so I'm gonna just do the individual fragment first. So I noticed that it looks like Angie's coming, and you don't have to do this. But just to kind of point out, but if you need it to help, of course. So from the top, middle, we're going to do a nice C-shaped curve line. Doesn't matter which way you go first. Nice C-shaped curve line there. Then, of course, turning the tile so that your hand can be comfortable and you use the curve of your hand. I'm going to go this way. Why, I don't know. And I missed it because I knew I was going to. That's sometimes why I don't do that. All right, because you just get with the curve and you just go with it. All right, next. We're going to do a line from right here in this crevice down to the center of the bottom, or wherever this has landed. Just come straight as you can down. And then here it looks like half-ish, or well, yeah, because you could half-ish, or if you want to hollow bow a diagonal from there, or just don't worry about it. Just somewhere on here, come draw a line down to that tip. And on the other side as well. Okay, so there we have our fragment. Now, actually, I want to try two things, so I hope you will hang with me. I really liked, the little thumbnail picture from Linda Farmer. So when you look at the For More Inspiration link, you will see that that's the first thing that you see. And then do scroll down to see Angie's sample and her step out and her sample. And the sample does this the same way. And that would be alternating, up and down. Okay, so let's start with it this way in this box. Like I said, I like to eyeball things. All right. And then of course it doesn't matter whatever direction you want to hold your tile at as you're doing it. That's fine. All right, then we're going to go opposite here. So the curve lines are going to be at the bottom. So we're essentially mirroring that. Or I could do down here first because it's going to be the same thing. Whatever works better for you. And because my brain goes here, that's what we're going to do. Now, since you already have this right here, I'm going to do my best. Oh, look at it. I met it up. Okay, and then finishing. I love that this has so few steps. A lot of Angie's stuff is like that. It's just like, yes. I feel like I want to say it's pure Zentangle. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm like, why do I see a shadow? Well, because I didn't move my light where I normally have it. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. All right, then, as I mentioned, we're just doing it mirroring, so it's either this way or it's flipped the other way. Excuse me. all of a sudden I had a tickle. And so here, so the point is going to be down here. So that means the curve lines are going to be up here opposite. Like that. But yeah, when you have something that's already there, you know, like even like this is curved a little bit. Yeah, so what? It doesn't matter, right? But it's nice to try to meet up those points. Okay, and then here. And in the end, as we like to say, it's not going to matter. All right, and then one of those, I hope I'm doing this the right direction. That's what it looks like. Yes. Okay, and then here, again, this is, we're going to do this the same way. So as you can see, you could just go and put this this direction, you know, alternating like a checkerboard if that works better for you. Okay, so that means this one, the curved lines are at the top. And you can almost see, right, the shape that's being created here with just that one little missing piece. And unfortunately, I can only get half of it since I did a 4 square. But you get the picture. Okay. When you do it in a larger grid, it's going to be amazing. It kind of is like that, like it's like a double onion dome. I don't know, maybe there's a name for that. But there we have that. Now, the thing that I wanted to try, we'll just see what happens. Because the neat thing about fragments, if you are not familiar, because we have this, if you hear the terms fragments and reticula, the reticula, if you hear it strewn about and you know, and then it's like, well, what does that mean anyway? This is the fragment. Well, here, let's just draw it. Rick and Maria and Zentangle crew came up with a name for, well, the question they posed to themselves was, well, what do we do when we have a not a square grid like this? You know, maybe it's, you know, orbs next to each other. Maybe it's, you know, diamonds, or maybe it's triangles, etc. So they looked, you know, did some thesaurusing, as I like to call it, and came up with the term reticula. Well, what we do is we put the fragments inside the grid. And I have mistakenly used the term reticula for string. So I've been working to correct myself on that, because it is 2 different things. But so this, then we turn it different ways. So like here, right, we were just flipping it 180 degrees each time. This one, what I want to do, I'm going to start the way we have it here. And I just want to take it 1 turn each time, because I think that that's fun. And this one is like I said, it's just so nice because you don't have to look back at anything. Okay, well, so let me move center here. All right, so we have it this way. Then what I do is I like to turn it, what is it, 90 degrees. Start, you know, so I'm always working in the upper left box, and I'm going to do the same thing each time, facing this direction. And then, look at, I got it to meet up. Yay. And what's neat about this, another neat thing I should say, about this tangle is if you aim for half, you know, halfway on that box, then, okay, so set here, do it this way. Then that kind of sets you up on this one to be able to meet up the lines easy. And I always say ish because, yeah, close works. You can always kind of just fudge it a little bit when it's close. Okay, then turning 1 last time. Except it was like one last, I always do this one last, and I get myself centered here, and then I position. I was like, okay, because I need to do my curve lines, and like I said, I like to use the curve of my hand. Okay, there's one that's close. All right. Oh, interesting. I almost went all the way over here. Did you see that hesitation? Oh, it's interesting. So it makes kind of a box in the middle. And what's neat is, you can, so we just see what do they call it? The meta shapes that come up. Like this one, like I said, is kind of this onion dome, although you can't, this half, picture that over here, that is a neat, actually, like Christmas ornaments. Ooh, that's kind of neat. And, when you do it on a larger grid, you have a whole bunch of this shape that just shows up. If you do it all the same direction, you'll see that both on Angie's, and I decided to do that on mine as well, although I decorated mine. You can see what that looks like. But it's just fun to play around. You can do it whatever, turn it whatever direction, in combination of directions that you want. And that is what is fun. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do on this, because I liked it, let's decorate this one like so. And what I'm going to do, let's see, well, I did that on the other one. Oh, maybe. Let's see. I ended up doing all of this side. And I was trying to think of something else to do. Let's see. Well, let's just do this one. I could always come back and do the other. Or I can fill it in, because it's kind of fun. Or, fill it in with either graphite or solid. Let's just start with those two things, and we'll turn them around, and we'll just see what it ends up looking like. And shading on these, it's kind of like just see where, where your eyeball takes you. And maybe there's something you want to highlight. Like, for instance, that pattern that's in there. And I might do that on that one. This one, just because it's kind of I want to say a mishmash. Although, let's see. Well, yeah, because you have this bit of a curved line and then this, straight-ish line, so that it makes for an interesting square. But all of a sudden I was thinking, you could do, well, you kind of could. It's kind of like I said, it's a weird shape. Yeah, depending on this, on the size of your squares, all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, we could do like a funny paradox in there. That could be interesting. Maybe with my 003 pen, because in this size, it's rather small. Although it could probably work. Actually, I was thinking just to do it, well, you know what? Could do it over those lines. That could be interesting. Just ignoring that grid line and just do paradox over it. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. All right. Like I said, debating on, because this is full, let's just do it, because that's just feeling like it needs to be. Because the other side is just empty. So it's kind of feel like I have to do something else on the other side too. And this ends up looking neat. This is why I like to do things in stages, because I'd rather change my mind this way than go, oh no, I really don't like that. And then figure out, okay, then what do I do? I already know I wanted to do that. So why not just do a little part of it? Could have them going in the other directions. I'm not having them line up because I'm not worried about it. And last one. Sometimes without thinking, it lines up. I love it when that happens. Okay, so that's super neat. Let me do on here. Here's the shading that I did on my version of the Step Out. What I did, and it looks neat the way I had it, because this curve line is just kind of neat, especially if it's in a row. But let's just see what it looks like this way. And I'm going underneath the line. Well, okay, in my perspective, I'm going underneath the line. All of a sudden I'm like, is that even going to mean anything to anybody? I don't know. What was I using on this before? That's awful dark. And so just a thought, you know, when depending on however you do it, whatever meta pattern you see, that could be something, like I said, that you decide to highlight. Or in my case right here, I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily doing that. I just wanted to highlight or do this because I think that it looks neat. It looks like this is like a valance or something, or you know, curtain over the bottom, and that looks neat. All right, but what if we, on top of that, let's just do the cross on the inside. Well, we'll do all the sides is probably what we'll do. And I'm going to bring it to both sides. Let's do all of it. You know, because when you do a grid pattern, it's up, you know, of course, it's always up to you. But one thing, well, I keep needing to remind myself is that, you know, we don't always have to like go all fancy and stuff. You could just do the grid lines or start with just the perimeter, you know, depending on what you have it in, and go from there too. Now, I'm not working to bring it out so much, just like that. So that's why I use using like a back and forth motion. Because you can see how far down it brings it just by doing the back and forth. If I was doing even little circles, it would bring it down a little bit more. Ew, I think it looks neat. It does. All right. So I'm going to do this one as I'm talking. I don't know if I want to fill it in, but I feel like I really want to do the shading first. And you know, you don't have to do anything other than shading. It's up to you how you want to decorate it. And I hope that you are enjoying this. If you are, take a little hand stretch break and click the like button. And then if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. I mentioned the description section where you will find links to the step outs. And then below those, if you are interested, I should just do this while I'm here. If you are interested, would like to join me online, tangling. We do that on Thursdays. It's called Tangle Time. It's an hour, and I'll take a tangle or two, and we play with it, see how much fun we can have with it. Oh, see, that looks neat, even just like that, without anything else. I'm just going to leave that one that way. And I'll see, then we'll play with this one. She says. Oh. Okay, I have a different idea. All right. So yeah, come join us online. If you are interested in such classes, if you look below the links to the step out, like I said, you'll see the link tree, and I have listed there a couple links of where you can find me, follow me for said classes, and a bunch of other stuff. So things like, we have a Tangle Addicts community on Facebook. We have a private group there. If you would like to join us, there are 4 questions once you click that link that you have to answer in order to gain entry. And let's see, what else do I have on there? There's some shopping links. I have the Enabler Alert store, because anytime that we start talking about, you know, new, I call them toys, you know, tools and things. This needs to be curved a little bit more in. then we call it an enabler alert, just because it's fun. And oh, I like that. And of course, it calls for the line dot dot, my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Neat. Okay, and I'm going to continue to play. I'm going to do a giant printout up here. Although it's kind of getting rid of the, it's like, oh, that's the fragment. Wait, I can't see it through all of the decorating. Wow, that's all right. And then we'll have fun shading it too. Apparently I can't talk and tangle it. Some days it doesn't work. But anyway, it's all self-explanatory there. And those are the couple things that I wanted to highlight. The classes, as well as our amazing, look at the, whoops, see, that takes care of that little line that I did at the beginning. Oh no, oh no. I've done a hypnotized bird. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Well, now that you've seen it, you just can't unsee it. Wait, maybe if I thicken some of the lines. I don't know, that's just going to make it worse, isn't it? Oh, that's so funny. That is one thing that we end up doing on our calls, is sometimes, it just looks like something else. And, I try not to say anything. And if I don't, somebody else will. It's just funny. I'm just going to make these little fancier. Maybe it'll, although, I could just fill the whole thing in. Because it's just, I don't know if that's the beauty. You could always go and just fill it in. Because I just don't want to look at a hypnotized, maybe a little hungover bird face. Oh, I know how I can fix it. I'm going to continue this. And this is the fun. I call it fun. Of Zentangle is when something happens, it kind of goes awry, or something like this. All right. Oh, well, how do we get past this? How do we fix it? And I always think fix in a different sense than it's something wrong, because there's nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong. But here's what we can do. You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna draw another one, of just the fragment, and I'll add it too, so you'll end up seeing that. You're like, where did that come from? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue that line, which this goes to show you too. You don't have to use it in a big grid format. It can just become something all on its own, just singly, just using that fragment, do it big, and decorate it, and have fun with it. Now I'm going to continue what I did here, and then if it still doesn't look good, I'll just fill it in. And what I'm doing here is, it's kind of like rounding both of the ends at the same time, so I'm kind of doing a C shape at the top there. But essentially, it's just, well, okay, wait, no, let me just call it what it is. It's lazy rounding. It works. No, kidding, not kidding. It works better because sometimes you need to bring, if you just did rounding, let me just do this here, which is just taking the corners, then you end up with, it's just a little too thin at the top. So a lot of times that's why I will do that anyway, just so that way, kind of tracing over it, I like the thickness that it adds. And if you're hanging with me, thanks. This is supposed to be a quickie, not, a dissertation on a dissertation on Flapjack. Okay. Oh, and then there's something else too. Problem is, now that I've said it, it's hard to get that out of the head. Although I don't see the beak anymore. It also depends on what direction you have it. And so let's do that. Let's do shading here. Kind of the opposite way I did it before. Let's just try those two bits first. Let's I'm gonna do these the perimeter because I think it looks better with the perimeter. On our Tangle Time and other calls that we do, we joke about having a session that is and I'm going to use what's left on my Tortillion here just to add a little bend to these, maybe, because usually it's mom that you know, she getting extra fancy, and then she, you know, and then it's like, well, that's not what I meant to do, or I don't like that, or whatever, and then we kind of joke like, okay, well, how does she get herself out of this mess? So we can almost have a sitcom. Who would know? That's all the same tangle. There we have it. Okay. Well, I've already said all of the stuff that I wanted to say. About the description section. Check out everything. I appreciate also, you know, if you do click like, if you share it, you know, and, you know, leave comments. I do my best to reply, or, you know, do something in the comments. But I do appreciate any and all of those activities, because it's supposed to help the algorithm and all that. So then, you know, YouTube will share it with people that have similar, you know, likes and whatnot. And so I appreciate that. All right. So I'm just going to draw one regular, and I can finish that on my own time. So thank you so much for playing along with me today. And I wish you happy tangling.